What is up, YouTube? Welcome back. Pat Flynn here. Can everyone hear me okay? Is this headset working? I'm trying it right into my iPad. So apologies if there's audio issues, but I'm just going to pretend like there's not. And by the way, how do we like the colors today? I have my Where's Waldo shirt on. Guaranteed, if I wear this out in public at all, somebody will make a Where's Waldo comment. But I guess I'm sort of inviting that onto myself and my Michigan jacket. I'm not actually much of a sports fan, but I tend to collect a bunch of sports clothing in the various places I go. For those of you tuning in live, give me a little feedback. Can you hear me okay? Because I'm a little bit nervous that this headset might not be working. So can you just, where's the live chat? Sorry, I'm running this through my iPad now, so this is a little bit different from me. Yes, Audible. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, no more wasting time. I want to talk about building muscle, and I want to give you specifics. Well, we'll start with principles, and then we'll go to specifics. Principles are good. They give us boundaries to make sure that we don't wander off into nonsense. We want to be clear on our principles, but at the same time, people will say, Pat, I don't like dealing with just concepts and numbers. Just give me something to do. Give me a program, a framework. I want to do that for you. I want to give you a specific program, a very minimalist framework that I've used with many clients and myself to really help with body composition and building muscle, lean muscle. Look, I'm not a bodybuilder. If you saw the quick, the screenshot for this live stream, you saw Pat Flynn's packing peanuts on the biceps, which, hey, for an Irish dude, not bad, right? So, let it be known that I've never been a professional bodybuilder, but, I think I've got a fair amount of muscle on me. When we cut the sleeves off, people notice. And that's a good thing, right? We want lean muscle. We know lean muscle is important, not just for attracting the gaze of our neighbors, but it keeps us healthy. We know as we age, it is very important to have lean muscle. Really vital for overall health and vitality. Vital for vitality. How about that? So let's talk principles first. And what's up, Bruno? How's everyone doing? Thanks for joining me on this live stream. It's fun. I'm enjoying this. I hope we can do it fairly often. By the way, really quick, I promised my friend Mike I would mention this, and it deserves to be mentioned before we go any further. New book out that I want to recommend, Michael Matthews' Beyond Bigger, Leaner, Stronger. Mike is a best-selling fitness author. Chances are, if you've bought any fitness books off of Amazon, you probably encountered his. He's always crushing the charts. I've been on his podcast a number of times. We've had awesome discussions on many different topics. This is a great book if you're somebody who's been in the weight room a while and you want to get unstuck in your fitness program. He's got just a lot of awesome, I know it's backwards on the camera, but programming in here, tons of references, footnotes, really well researched. So if you want a straightforward, no BS guide to building muscle, check this one out. It just came out. I told Mike I would mention it because it deserves to be mentioned. He does really good work. I wish all fitness books were this well researched and just straightforward. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's talk principles. What do we need to build muscle? Well, there's a lot of debate around stuff that isn't as important. And let me clarify what I mean about that. Sometimes people fuss over things where it's just not clear that it makes all that much of a difference. One example would be rep range. What is the ideal rep range? Yes, traditionally we understand that something between 6 to 12 reps tends to be very effective for building muscle. I don't disagree with that. But we have good research showing that people build muscle across a wide variety of rep ranges. Low reps can build muscle. High reps can build muscle. What seems to be critical, really important, is the relative intensity that you work at, as well as the overall volume. So long as you have the right intensity and the volume, you're going to build muscle. So here's where the key principles come in. And remember, principles are important because they keep us in bounds. They stop us from wasting our time, engaging in nonsense. So we always want to be clear on principles before we get into specifics. Somewhere between 10 to 20 sets per muscle or muscle group per week. That's the volume we're looking at if we want to build muscle. Somewhere between 10 to 20 sets per muscle or muscle group per week. So keep that in mind. Brad Schoenfeld has some good research on this. I just linked to an article of his on my blog and offered a few comments. And his advice is pretty common sense. If you're starting out, start on the lower end, maybe around 10 to 12 sets per muscle or muscle group per week. And then as you move through your training, as you move into later phases, you want to increase volume as you go. It is true that if you're something of a veteran, you're just going to have to increase volume at some point. Volume is just what is what's needed to just, further stimulate and motivate your body to put on muscle. Your body doesn't want to put on muscle if it doesn't have to, right? You really have to force your body to increase the size of its output factories, and the only way you're going to do that is by imposing demands. So Brad offers the advice as well that once you get into, and I think this is good advice, once you get into the higher ranges of volume, you might seriously want to consider doing 2-a-day routines, just splitting them up. That there's value in that. But most people don't have to worry about that because that comes later. So again, between 10 to 20 sets, hard sets per muscle or muscle group per week. This is what's very well established in the research. Now, what do we mean by hard sets? Well, we mean something like this. A hard set, depending on the rep ranges that you choose, I would say, and it's not just me saying this, but I agree with the experts, right? We've got to go with the experts. That a hard set is something that's within, say, 2 reps of technical failure. Okay, now let's explain what technical failure is. This is an important point. I actually was just talking about this with Mike Matthews on a podcast on my show, which will be coming out soon. Technical failure is when you experience some type of significant decrease in rep quality. It might be overall technique, meaning you start to compensate in your technique. So in a squat, it might look like your hips start to do that famous scooping motion, right? Your hips raise before your back comes up. That would be an aspect of technical failure. You're still able to move the weight, so it's not absolute failure. Absolute failure means you're done, weight isn't moving anymore, you need somebody to bail you out. Technical failure is when technique starts to fail or you notice a significant decrease in performance, speed, quality, something like that. So if we're saying within 2 reps of technical failure, it means that if we're doing, if we're shooting for 8 reps, say we're targeting 8 reps, that means we should hit technical failure by 10 reps. That's what we mean by within 2 reps of technical failure. If we're saying we're going to do 8 reps, then if we were to do 10 reps, we would have hit technical failure. So that's what we mean by within 2 reps of technical failure. I see some comments coming in. I want to try and look at these. I'm not good at technology. So what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the comments. Love your tutorials on kettlebell movement, says Raj. Well, thank you very much. Bruno, I have your paleo workout for dummies between my hands right now. Do you have any modifications since the time of publishing that on deadlift volume? Honestly, I have to look at my exact prescriptions on that again. It's been a while since I've seen that. My off-the-cuff response would be no. Last time I reviewed my own book, which is always a painful process. Nobody likes to look back on the work they've done even 5 minutes ago. You think, how could any human write so terribly? I was quite happy with the overall programming. My modifications for that book, if I had to do it over again, is I just probably wouldn't include certain exercises. I wouldn't include one-arm chin-ups anymore. Yes, they were cool to do. Yes, they gave me awful elbow tendonitis. And no, they didn't really make me much better at anything. They certainly didn't give me humongous biceps. So it allowed me to do like a cool party trick, but it gave me bad elbow tendonitis. So some of the exercise selections I would probably get rid of, but the general programming I would say is cool. Okay, so Bruno, so the programming is ladders, low rep ladders. No, I definitely still recommend that because that's more on the strength based side of things. So I'm going to recommend something a little bit different in this conversation. But if you're following that program, I would say stick with it. That's rock solid. So good stuff, my brother. What's up, everyone else? Raj, what are your thoughts on full body workouts for 56 times per week? We're going to get there. So let me continue on with this conversation because I'm going to give you some specific routine that you can follow in like 5 minutes. So just hang with me. So we're talking about principles, 10 to 20 sets, hard sets, within 2 reps of technical failure, per major muscle group per week. Keep that in your mind, please. That's foundational. We need to hit that. The intensity within technical failure. So we're talking volume and intensity. Now, what we've noticed is you can have success building muscle, again, with low, moderate, or high rep sets. And this is where, if we were to sit down and discuss a long-term programming cycle, I would ideally want to incorporate phases of each, where we kind of cycle through lower, moderate, and higher volume sets. I'm going to give you something more simple starting out, but just keep in mind when it comes to programming and periodization and stuff like that, over the course of an extended training program for my clients, I like to tap into the various rep ranges. I think there's a lot of utility in doing so. Not always necessary for a lot of people, but it can optimize things to a large extent. Okay, what are some other basics? 2 more basics: calorie intake and protein intake. These are huge hinge factors. If you want to actually to grow muscle, you need to make sure that you have adequate calorie intake. The Mifflin-St. Calculator is a good kind of rough estimate. So if you just Google Mifflin-St. calorie calculator, you'll get a bunch of calculators pop up online. They're not perfect. Online calculators, of course, aren't perfect, but they can give you a good starting approximation. And then you'll put in your stats, and it will show you, where your target should be, roughly. There's other macro calculators and stuff out there as well. Most of them are decent enough to get started with. And then I would say if you want enough of a surplus, but not too aggressive that you're going to be massively uncomfortable and also start putting on some, probably some unwanted body fat, shooting for somewhere between, like a 400 to 500 calorie surplus per day. And then the other big thing is protein intake. You got to make sure that your protein intake is adequate. And there's different recommendations on ranges here. There's some evidence to suggest that you can get away with less than what is commonly prescribed, maybe even like 0.5 grams per pound of body weight per day. So there's debate kind of on the floor and ceiling question of protein intake. I like the traditional advice: get a gram of protein per pound of body weight a day, or at least a gram of protein per pound of lean body mass per day. I think if you stick somewhere around that, you're going to do just fine. Okay, so these are the principles. Let me give you the program now. I said it would be minimalist. So this program follows a 4x4 framework. A 4x4 framework. What does that mean? Well, we're going to train 4 exercises, 4 days per week. 4 exercises, 4 days per week. And I think if you follow this framework, you're going to kind of hit those key critical components that you need to really build strength and muscle. No, this is not a bodybuilding program. This would be more of a general physical preparedness program that has an emphasis on strength and muscle building. So let me give this to you. I'm going to break it out into 4 days. The way I like to do it is just 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 2 days off. So you could train, say, Monday, Tuesday, take Wednesday off, train Thursday, Friday, take Saturday, Sunday off. Okay, so day 1 is this: 4 exercises, 4 days per week. And remember, this is the framework that I've used for myself a lot of times, and many clients. It works really well, and it's minimalist. I get you're busy. You probably don't want to spend all day in the gym, so I think you're going to get a lot of mileage from this protocol. All right, so the first one, the 4 exercises are bench and bent over row, and you're going to perform those as something of a superset. Meaning you'll do them back-to-back with little to no rest in between. I don't care about what variations you want to use, right? If you want to use barbell bench, dumbbell incline bench, that's up to you. But I want you to hit 4 hard sets of 8 reps, within zooming in on technical failure. We could do a range there, 8 to 12 reps if you want, but whatever you pick, make sure you're within 2 reps of technical failure. So you're going to hit the bench, you're going to hit the bent over row, back-to-back, superset it, and then, rest 2 to 3-ish minutes between sets, and then repeat. 4 hard sets of that. Then you're going to do an accumulation set of dips and chin-ups. So this will be higher reps, and I want you to really go again to within 2 reps of technical failure, whatever that is. You'll do a set of dips, crank them out, and then a set of chin-ups, crank them out. Now, where you land on this will depend on your current strength. I would say if you can already do more than 15 bodyweight dips or chin-ups, weight those. Weight those so you're not doing more than that. And then just set 15 minutes on the clock and accumulate as many quality sets as possible within those rep ranges. So does that make sense? So the first 2 exercises are just 4 hard sets of the bench and bent over row. And then the dips and chin-ups are time sets. You're just going to put 15 minutes on the clock, and you're going to alternate and accumulate as many high-quality sets as you can. What's up, guys? I'm sorry, I'm tuning back to the live stream comments here. You know what? I'm going to save the questions till the end. So put the questions in. I'll circle back here as the end. Let me continue focusing on this. Okay, on day 1, I also have that you can do some type of metabolic finisher. So if you want to get more of a conditioning element, grab one of my kettlebell complexes and do that for like 10 to 15 minutes at the end on day 1. Day 2, same framework, different exercises. We're going to have deadlift and squat. Deadlift, I would recommend a barbell if you can get it. It's hard to replace a barbell deadlift with anything else. You can do it, but I would say stick with barbell. Again, 4 hard sets, somewhere between 8 to 12 reps within 2 reps of technical failure. And then squats. Squats, pick your favorite variation. Front squats, back squats, kettlebell squats, up to you. I leave that open. Then what I want you to do after that is a pairing of accumulation sets again of goblet squats and start-stop swings. So same thing. Pick a weight where you're probably not going to be able to do more than 15 reps before hitting technical failure, and just bounce back and forth between goblet squats and start-stop swings. The start-stop swing, you can look on my channel for demonstrations of this, is where you put the kettlebell down between every rep. It burns the quads up. And if you do that after a set of goblet squats, your legs are going to be screaming, I promise you. So that's day 2. All right. Day 3 is back to upper body, and here I have military press and pull-up pairing. Same thing, 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps of each within 2 reps of technical failure. Now, somebody will say, well, Pat, I can't do 8 reps of the pull-up. Then what I would say is use the least amount of assistance that you need to get to the right intensity. So instead of adding resistance, just use the least amount of assistance that you need to get within 2 reps of technical failure within the 8 to 12 rep range. Military press, you can use barbell, you can use kettlebell, you can use dumbbell. I don't care, up to you. Then for the accumulation sets, 15 minutes on the clock, body weight row, and some push-up variation. So again, try to pick the variations that will give you an appropriate intensity. You can do feet elevated push-ups. You could do weighted vest push-ups. Same thing with body weight row. Try and find the right angle. If you need to put on a weighted vest to make it more intense, please do so. Then on day 3, I have another metabolic finisher. If you want to just do that, I would encourage it. So grab one of my complexes. You could also do some interval running, some hill sprints, some sled pushes, whatever. Just make yourself breathe hard and sweat for like 10 to 15 minutes. All right. Last day is a little bit different. We're going to do deadlift again, but the deadlift will be lower rep, higher weight, and we're just going to do a straight accumulation set. So make sure you're taking notes on this. So I want you to do 3 rep sets using around your 5 rep max for technical failure. And I want you to just get as many high-quality sets as you can in 20 minutes. Just deadlift. Focus on that. Once that's done, I then want you to do split squats, everybody's favorite love-to-hate exercise, Bulgarian split squats. 4 hard sets. Again, 8 to 12 reps per leg. This is going to feel awful within 2 reps of technical failure. Then we're just going to pair goblet squats and swings again. So same thing as, what was that, day 2. Just going to come back to that. And here you can have some fun with it. You could mix up some swinging variations if you want. I don't really care. Just get in some good high quality reps for that last part. Okay, that's it. That's your 4-day framework. If you follow that, you're gonna build some muscle. You're gonna build some strength. You're gonna notice, I think, a significant improvement in body composition, especially if you get the nutrition dialed in. And then let me add this: aside from those 2 optional metabolic days, do some form of low-intensity cardio activity every single day. So brisk walking is the go-to. Try and get outside and go for like a 30 to 60-minute brisk walk every single day. You can't go wrong with that. It'll help keep body fat down. It'll help keep your mood up. You'll just feel better. You'll be nicer to people. It's nice. Guys, it's nice to be nice to people. It's a nice YouTube channel. You're nice. I'm nice. It is a nice place to be, and walking helps make you nice. It's nice. It's nice to be nice. All right, does everyone agree with that? If so, please like this video. All right, let's circle to some questions. Does anybody have any questions on this? If possible, try and keep it somewhat on topic. We'll spend a few minutes here in Q&A. Carlo says, for the main... Why does this keep disappearing? Julie agrees that it's nice to be nice. I am glad. Carlo says, for the cardio, could you do rucking? Of course. Yeah. Awesome. Love rucking. You could do heavy hands walks, as Dan John likes to talk about, if you want people in your neighborhood to look at you funny. But the joke's on them because you're getting healthy, and they're just looking at you. And, yeah. So you could go for a bike ride. You could go play a game of pickup basketball. I don't care. Just go out and be active. It's not something you need to fuss about too much. And all the better if it's fun for you and adventurous. 100%. Bruno says, you're nice. I try to be nice, man. I do. Ricky says, Pat, what would be a great kettlebell circuit that I could do daily? Oh, so just for... This is somewhat off topic, but just for general baseline fitness, check out Dan John's Humane Burpee. I think that's a cool one. That's simply put, that's something like 15 swings, 5 goblet squats, 5 push-ups. And then you do 15 swings, 4 goblet squats, 4 push-ups. 15 swings, 3 goblet squats, 3 push-ups, down to 1 goblet squat, 1 push-up. I mean, that's just so basic. You're doing some hinging, some squatting, some pushing. You're going to get the heart rate up. You're going to tire the muscles. So I think that's a good just general fitness routine that you could probably do daily. It's not too crushing. It's not too draining on the nervous system, especially if you're just using a moderately intense kettlebell. I think you'll get a lot of mileage from that. I think you'll feel pretty good from that. So yeah, I would recommend that. That question depends a lot on what you're looking for. But if you're just looking for some general tire the muscles, sweat a little bit, keep my heart healthy type of stuff, then I think that's pretty good. All right, next question. Pat, for the main kettlebell 6 movements, swing, clean, press, squat, snatch, and Turkish get up, why does it keep disappearing? What would you advise for total numbers per session? Okay, it totally depends on the goal. How you train depends on what you are training for. So if you're just doing a kettlebell only strength program, I mean, so even the framework that I just gave, you could fit in some of the basic kettlebell movements into that. Certainly you could for the military pressing and squatting. I didn't have get-ups in here. Get-ups you could use, for example, so here's a way you can use get-ups for a metabolic conditioning routine. I really like this. I like training get-ups in a sort of contrastive format. And what I mean by that is set 10 to 16 minutes on the clock and alternate between really slow and really fast get-ups. And what I mean by that is for 2 minutes, you can do 2 minutes at a time, just move through the get-up as slowly as you can, but still move the entire time. So you're really focusing on elegance and stability and control and all that groovy good stuff. And then for the next 2 minutes, go as fast as you can. So you're just getting up and off the ground with weight overhead as quickly as possible. You're not going to go heavy with this because it is a conditioning drill. But even when you're going fast, you're going to pay attention to technique. It's going to get the heart rate up. So you'll get some really good get-up practice there. You could use kettlebells for rows and all that good, groovy stuff. Sorry, guys, I have a podcast I got to hop on now, so I'm going to have to wrap this one up. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this framework is helpful. I will maybe try and upload it, put it in the show notes thingy. Please like this video. Please share it. Please help me knock the cobwebs off of this YouTube channel. I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you are too. Remember, it is nice to be nice. It's nice to be a nice person. Like this video if you are a nice person. And not salutations, but goodbye. How do I turn this off? It's time to turn this off now. Okay. Yes.